All right, all right. I'm just getting things settled as is the usual. Getting a little better, getting a little quicker, a little more cleaner with everything, which, progress. But yeah, not too bad this morning in terms of setting stuff up. I woke up, got a couple things done in the house. Played 2 ranked Marvel games. Lost them both. Almost won them both too, but I can't catch a break, man. Live in that low level hell. I need to find people to game with in ranked on my game days on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Though I'm not gonna lie, I did not realize. I'll pull it up so when we talk about stuff, we can take a peek at the game. But I did not realize there's a game that I definitely have to play coming out the end of this month. Almost 2 weeks from now. Just under 2 weeks from now. So that actually probably be my my game of choice on that week. Does it come out on a Tuesday? Oh, it totally does. Game on, baby. That's my Tuesday game on the 28th. Anyway, let's get the show on the road, huh? And switch over to a normal mode. So bear with me, my lighting. I'm still trying to hammer out the lighting scenario in here because it's constantly changing, and I don't really want to close the curtain because this is beautiful lighting, right? I like the idea of being here in the morning and having nice natural light. It does wash out my face though. Pretty bad, right? I am pale as a ghost. Morning streams I don't really mind then because we're just cruising, chilling, making art. And then by the time I do any recording, I guess it's already later in the day, so the lighting's not too bad. If we were in the office, like I kind of hope one day to swap things too if things go well, lighting will be better there, probably, because it's the other side of this wall, actually, and the way the curtains and window are, I can still see outside without the sun necessarily blasting me, whereas like right here, literally it's right here, and not only is it right here, but there's snow everywhere. As per usual in Chicago lately, it's just full of snow. And so being full of snow, bright white, rockets back at my face, and I am a glowing ghost of a pale, pale white male. And that's okay. Gotta rock it, right? Rock what we got, and what we got is some pale, pale, pale white. Until summer, or until I go back down to Florida and vacation, and it's lovely. But anyway, let's get cruising. I did my thing beforehand. Again, I'm getting better. Where I already found things. This one, I'm not quite sure I'm like super sold on what this is, but I saw the title just said Piccolo vs. Batman, and I was sold on the idea enough to come peruse it. Looks like they've done a handful of Dragon Ball little studies. Nothing crazy. But they're trying. I respect that. All right, well, these aren't my favorite. But I respect the try. Okay, I will talk about that game later. Let's go back over on this side. So, looks like it's an outsourcing studio with more Wayfinder stuff. Again, always a fan. This game is stunning. I can't really complain because it's gorgeous. 10 out of 10, as usual. Simple but hella effective stuff. So I'm following these people, right, or no? Well, I don't. I definitely should. So it's always interesting in places like these because their styles, obviously this isn't one person, this is an outsourcing studio, so they have styles all out the butt in so many different ways. Which just seems honestly one of the most fun things to do. Like, yes, having a personal attachment and being part of the team is definitely cool. But also being able to just be like, hey, today, this month we're doing stuff like this, you know, which super stylized league art style, right? Very painterly, pretty low poly usually too. And then it's like, psych, now we're doing Smite for another 6 months where we're doing, again, pretty stylized, but much more realistic rendering. Going to be working with way higher polys. Looks like we're going to be doing more of a BPR pipeline rather than just hand painting assets. Like, and then back to, you know, like, actually, no, we're obviously it's usually not the same people, but like doing 2D concepts or something like this. Like, all of a sudden, oh, actually, now we're just going to pump out. We need a few small terrain assets. Boom, done. Like, this seems the most fun. In a weird way. Like, it doesn't seem the most fun for community per se to feel like you're invested in the game, but from an art perspective of just asset creation, it seems pretty fun. Or we can be cool and we can make a dope community here and we can just make whatever the heck we want whenever and do the same thing and have different challenges and make stuff like that on a whim and change monthly here too. But one can hope. For now, though, let's keep perusing. Honolese Nature Summoner. Very old school fantasy feel with a lot of this. Red Riding Hood. Werewolf looks creepy as hell. Like, not like unbelievably creepy, just like the way the face was rendered. Ooh. I always love when you click on an image and you did not expect. Like, I thought it was just going to be this guy. Psych. A whole collection. This is interesting. This guy looks almost like he almost looks like you could squeeze him in Destiny. But then this is straight up not Destiny. Nice. Somehow I always end up clicking on Wayfinder stuff, but this is Baldy Conan. We've looked at their stuff before, I think, and I'll look at it every day for all I care because it's great. But cool. Moving on. I saw this and I thought we had to click on it just simply because we had Psylocke last time too. So Psylocke is bumping. Apparently I should be drawing Psylocke soon. We're one of the cool kids. Also more butts. Okay. I need to read Fall of the House of X. The whole Rise of Powers. I've got that hardbound behind me, but I want to know, like, what is the story behind this? This Ileana, Magic and Colossus then, Wombo combo. Like, come on. Those are two of my favorites. Those siblings, perfection. And I would love to see more of why they are like that. So definitely add that to my list to read soon. This isn't interesting. I feel like you don't see, almost looks just like colored pencils, which I like it. Obviously, so much of the stuff we do now is digital, but this looks like the same style, just more tweaked over time. Face looks very Lady Gaga-esque right there. I just can't, I love that. So good. A lot of Black Panther stuff too, which is pretty cool. We got Sexy Nightcrawler. Got some Lord of the Rings even in here. I don't know what this is, but we are going to look at that for sure. Yeah, I like this style. This feels like old, like especially these like 1920s early vibes of like the stylization and the color. There's a lot of nudity here though. Whoopsie. Don't I have the setting on that says please don't show nippies? Anyway, She-Hulk looks great. Love that made it like made it a Vanity Fair cover. This is what am I looking at here? Frog Babe. I don't know, but I'm all for it. Okay, well, we're done with Ivan. Ivan's another individual I've enjoyed their stuff for a very long time. Very distinct way of making a mark too on their end. They've done, yeah, so much stuff. Like, let's just look at the Marvel Snap stuff even. Marvel Snap and covers. What do we got here? Yeah, so there's a thing to be said about, being able to render a character and draw a good pose and fun anatomy. But there's something else that Ivan captures that we can see in so much of their work, that it's not just the ability to draw the characters, it's the ability to dynamically make a scene, like, and very abstracted scenes sometimes, extremely abstracted scenes. But they work so well. They are so dynamic. Such a great style. Did I never buy this book? Did I never buy his head book? I thought I bought this. I don't know, maybe that's when finances were all over the board, and so I don't think I did, but man, I have to look at that. I like how none of that is considered fan art because he got paid to do all of it anyway. So it's like, nah, that's all client work, even though it's all fan art to an extent. Oh, yes. Again, none of these are really new to me, but seeing them all over again, I'll do it every day. So we're gonna take a couple peeks and then we'll stop because I don't want to make this an Ivan an Ivan stream though. Would love to pick their brain and talk about their stuff. Always a Storm Punk fan. Just the energy of this and the dynamic scene that we're getting here, right, in this cover. This car is up our butt and he's flipping out. Deadpool's being a goofball. His car's exploding. We've got almost looks like Goblin, I'm assuming, Green Goblin bag here. Oh, obviously with the pumpkin bombs. But like there's so much storytelling in an action scene here in just one quick image. It's a gorgeous cover. Same here. There's so much movement, yet just two characters. There's not really like a metric crap ton going on, and they're just psionically fighting, right? They're not even physically making contact, and yet this goes hard from a composition standpoint. Love it. Talk about a dope composition. The Go-Go Power Rangers series, I've got a bunch of them behind me, had some of the coolest covers. I've got a handful. I think I've got a Go-Go. I've got a couple of the covers actually up on the wall here. I've got one in this room, I think, and oh yeah, there's one right there. One right above me. And then, oh yeah, one way back there. And then I think there's one more in the office. Their cover work, I think Dan Mora did a lot of the covers too. It was just stupendous, like absolutely stupendous. And this is clean. I would buy a print of this too if he had. What cover is this? 22. Okay. Oh, love that. Grindhouse stuff. Okay. So what was? Oh no, conversion. Software version 7.0. So what is that? What is with our garbage conversion? So it's only $30. I would love to have this on my shelf. What's the shipping on something like this, though, I wonder? Oh, it's in... What? Oh, it can change to Spanish. That was the other one? I don't... Am I blind? Why is it not... Is it not changing for anybody? Do we see this? Clicking on English. Nothing's happening. Ain't nothing gonna happen. I don't... Can we... View cart? Oof, yeah. That sucks that the shipping's as much as the thing. I'll add this to my list, though, and definitely get this later at one point. Anyway, back to just loving all of his stuff anyway. More from his head book, it looks like. Some Mononoke. Already obviously liked this, but again, such clean composition. Look at these angles, right? Everything's pretty harsh angles with this, but it all leads our eye to this strong triangle. Boom. Everywhere we look, our eyes are drawn to that. Every piece is expertly placed, even these angles, right? Our eye is just, anywhere we look, draws down, down, boom, back to this. You just keep cycling your eye right to this piece. And again, compositionally, absolutely fantastic work always. This is, oh, Greg. Over the Garden Wall is a masterpiece. And this is no different. I actually got a print of an Over the Garden Wall that one of my best friends just randomly sent me. I was super stoked. And I was like, hey, I've got all my gallery walls, right? Easy peasy. Let me just slap it in a frame that I'm sure I have in the basement. Wrong. I didn't actually have one. Usually I've got like stockpile of frames, because if you saw our house here, like, yeah, few $1,000s of art and frames at minimum, right? Just all over the house. And few thousand, I don't even want to know actually the amount. It's a lot. Let's just say it's a lot. I always have overflow of frames then, just in case. And I didn't have one for that. And honestly, it's one where, like, you know, you like, oh, I need to stop by Michael's at least and just get a basic one for now. Forget. Like, your brain just one of those ones where unless I make an explicit trip for it, my brain just keeps forgetting it. But yeah, anyway, I wanted to bounce a little bit too, because I clicked on this because I wanted to see, I like when we look at a whole mix of stuff, right? I'm drawn to characters, and most of us are because we like humans, but I wanted to see this. This looked really cute. It's a cat tea house from Manon Bruson. And I really like when you tell a story in the shape. So even just right here, this shape, I don't know if this is readable by you guys, that if you catch this, the whole house is inspired by cats. Obviously, you catch this, right? And this could be a tail for sure. But also, if you know, again, actually, the friend who got me the, that's hilarious. What the heck is this? Okay, Tyler, if you're watching this stream, avert your eyes, because you don't need to see what I'm going to randomly buy you. That's for you later. You'll have that later. But no, the lucky cat, right? So the lucky cat is a very iconic Chinese image. And basically, the hand usually sometimes moves and stuff like that. But I'm sure we've all seen these somewhere. But the lucky cat then, if we look at this shape, this is that, right? That's totally the lucky cat homage. So you've got the ears, you've got the hand up, and you've got the other hand sitting down. And even the ground it's on is a paw. This is a paw, and then the top toe is a paw in itself. So the amount of imagery in here of cats, fantastic. Like, look at this. The paw for the window, the little paw in that window, the paws up here. The ability to take that idea and run with it and make it. But at first glance, you don't look at that and go, oh my God, that's a cat. Like, no, you look at it and then you slowly realize all of these details. And I absolutely love this. This is super, super cute theming. It's just a personal project, right? Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. And that's all they've got. I was excited to see more from you. Well, let me give you a follow and maybe we will see more. I gotta give that some love. That was a top tier. Top tier image. I like it. Okay, we're almost done. We've got 2 more to peek at, and then I want to talk about a game real quick, but then that'll be it. Just look, again, curious what this person's style was, and it looks like it's all over the, not all over the place, but quite a bit of rendering practices. Not bad, not bad. And then our last one from Pingle Studios, Songs of Silence. Looks like this is either like a D&D type of thing or a board game, right? That's creepy looking. Weird. Gross, but cool. I like it. So another outsourcing studio, it looks like. So a lot of... There's Pingle actually a 3D game? There's Pingle... Oh, Oh my god, Pingle's the name. Doi Pingle Game Studios. Ugh. Oh, they worked RIP Rumbleverse. That was just here in Illinois. I really had good high hopes for this, but unfortunately, the nature of the beast right now in some video game space, especially these live service ones, just it's too damn hard. Too much money, too much expectations. It's almost always set up for failure. Unless you've got something like Marvel here where you've got like such an IP to pull from and people will just flock to it to try it. And then obviously they have the oomph to back it up that it's an amazing game. But this is some cool stuff that they make in the Ukraine. Okay, so I know the one thing I want to talk about before I pull out the iPad. I totally forgot that this game was coming out. Excuse me. So I have loved Orcs Must Die. And if you haven't played Orcs Must Die, it's basically like a tower defense game that you run around as the character. So it's kind of like a game that I used to play back in college called Dungeon Defenders, which I also absolutely love. The later iterations didn't quite live up to the hype of the original, but Orcs Must Die have. I've gotten, there was Orcs Must Die and 2, 3, and I think there was another Orcs Must Die game, but I don't remember. But there was kind of a Unchained, that's what it was. It was like a weird free to play thing that didn't really work out in 2017. That was the 3rd game technically, but then Orcs Must Die 3, they like soft rebooted the entire thing and kind of went back to their roots. And I cannot sing this game's praises enough. I freaking love, look at this right here. 92% like, 9 out of 10 on Steam. Do we have a oh my god, why am I blinking on what's the ranking? The website. Holy crap. Orcs Must Die 3 reviews? Why am I an idiot? Metacritic. Holy meta crap. Okay, well, not as favorable by people. It's a very niche game in that sense, but I mean, it wasn't without its faults, but for what it was trying to deliver, I loved it. So I guess some of those reviews are a little iffy, but I always like to look at Steam reviews, honestly. I think that is one of the better gauges sometimes, but I definitely don't own this on Steam. I have it on PlayStation. And when I was dating my girlfriend years ago, I would actually, because we'd stay at her place over the weekends, and I would bring my PS5 sometimes when this game came out, Orcs Must Die 3 when it came out, and I was like, hey, when you go to bed, I'm gonna play some Orcs Must Die. And then if it was like a Sunday and a Monday, she'd leave for work or whatever in the morning, and I would just be like, hey, before I head back home, I'm gonna play some in the morning. Like I love this game. It was so fun. But anyway, so Orcs Must Die, Death Trap is now another evolution in their series, but this time it looks like it's gonna be a little more roguelite with how they handle their progression and stuff like that. Still a very heavy emphasis on co-op. I've always pretty much played it solo, these games, just because my friends never want to play with me. But Tuesdays and Thursdays, if anybody wants to jam out with me on this game, once it comes out in a week from Tuesday, 28th. And you can bet your damn butt I am going to play this game. And I hope I love it. But anyway, let's look at a quick game. Do we have gameplay of it real quick to take a peek of? And then we'll switch to drawing. Orcs Must Die Death Trap. So, have they released anything? Oh, they did the solo dev stream. That's what got me realizing it was a thing. Do we have any browser audio here? We'll keep it kind of low, the browser audio here, so it's not bonkers loud. But yeah, so this is the dev stream. So it's 4 hours long. Looks like it's weirdly low res, their stream, but that could have been a product of their stream. But so as you see, like, very stylized, pretty cartoony game. It looks like they've got more realistic hair and cloth. I think this is done in UE5, if I'm not mistaken. And you can see they always like give the guide of like where they're gonna go, what you do that's gonna alter the path. What the one that did poorly, the game did, was interesting, was they had like different character classes. Boop, 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 boop. Sorry, one sec. How do I do this? Oh my gosh. I need to figure out a how do I mod again? Mod actions, messages. Yeah, I need some sort of modification system in here, because how do I remove? Oh, boom, banned. That's what it is. Spam. Anyway, the different characters that you could play was interesting. So everyone had like different abilities and stuff, and they kind of did that in 3, but it was only like 3 or 4 characters. So I'm intrigued to see how the roguelite elements play out, because you've got like, look at this different character. I don't know what this chunky thing is, but I like it. Or she is here with her blunderbuss, and the little pets you've got. I don't know. I kind of purposely don't look into some games that I know I'm gonna want, right? Do you ever do that where you're already sold, right? Like, you loved the other games, and while you're excited for the new one, there's something exciting about going in kind of blind. I feel like we don't have that as much anymore. So often I would get like an electronic game, an EGM, Electronic Gaming Monthly, or something like that, like an old magazine or Game Informer or Nintendo Power or any of those, and I would read like a little article, right? Like a not even a full page sometimes. And that would get me stoked as a kid for like a game that's coming out, whether sometimes it was in a month, sometimes it was in a year, but like that's the information you had and you were already excited. And I feel like we as a community now have become far more cynical, I guess, and critical of stuff, where back then I feel like, yes, we were younger and there's an argument to be had, but there's like a sense of magic and wonder. Like, I don't know everything about the game. I'm just going to hop in and hope it's great. And yes, financially that's a little rough, but like as a kid, and if you were spoiled or lucky, fortunate enough to have parents who would at least buy games here and there, hey, obviously you didn't notice that as a kid, but yeah, so I like going in blind. So like looking at this, I haven't listened to any of this, but like already all I see is like there's in this alone, we saw 4 different characters, right? We had the boy. We've got this, like, I'm assuming, is it like a bear of sorts, right? Like some sort of bear. We've got this girl, and then we've got this little fox. He looks like Alopex almost from Ninja Turtles. And it looks more of the same kind of vibe of the game, and I'm sold already. I don't need more than that, right? I don't need more. This is what I want, and I'll be excited when I find the new things then, and when I find out what the game entails. So I don't need to know more than that, but I I know from gameplay, I'm sure this doesn't look the most exciting, but it's one where the gameplay loop is weirdly really gets you hooked because you want to keep finding the best way. Sometimes even when you beat it a level and you beat it like because you've got so many characters can make it through before it counts as like a loss, right? And so even sometimes when you beat the level, technically beat it, your brain is still like hungering, like, no, 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 I think I can do it better now. Excuse me. And so it's got this weird feedback loop of like wanting to constantly improve what you did and be like, no, 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 okay, that made sense. But what if I put a wall here, trapped them this way? On the 5th wave, when these guys come, maybe it would be better if I did something where they were kited here and blah, 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 blah. And instead of using my fire traps, if I use this, it's a nerd. I love it. I nerd out on that kind of stuff. And so I'm excited for it. And I'm super excited for the fact that that is in a week from Tuesday. I'm going to mark my calendar. I'm going to definitely stream that in the afternoon. And I try, my gaming streams have been not always a full chunk of time, just maybe an hour or maybe 2. I can see myself giving myself a full stream for this bad boy and really celebrate its launch. But hopefully I'll have all the cool Marvel Rivals stuff and I won't need to play that day. But anyway, let's move on from this gushing about Orcs Must Die and move on. So we don't really need to see much anymore in way of Malice, but I guess for the sake of like visuals, we'll boot up the game just so we've got something to peek at on the top corner. Sorry, again, just like the other day, we've got some family stuff happening. That's quite not going to get into that today, but there's quite a bit going on. And sorry if I pop over here on my text here and there to check in on stuff. Holy crap! Do you see this with my hair? This has been doing this all morning. I sat there in the bathroom trying to wet it down. Unfortunately, I woke up this morning and immediately went like this and had my hood on from the moment of waking up, basically. And then I came downstairs, was doing some stuff, got my coffee. And then I went to the bathroom later, took off my hood, and realized the monstrous mess that was my hair. So as we boot this up, let's just do our normal pull into the character select just so we can look at it. Let's shut off my game audio. I don't want to hear it. And we can see what I'm missing, right? Oh, we're going to get that Thor skin soon. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this Thor. By the power of Asgard. Anyway, let's check out Malice. Oh, though we did get, are they not in the shop yet? They're tomorrow, I think, right? The lunar Doctor Strange, right? He looks great. He looks absolutely great, and I'm excited for that. Just to see him, right? I don't plan on buying him. I do like playing Doctor Strange, though I don't think I've not actually played Doctor Strange all that much, really. My playtime for Strange is, yeah, at a minimum here. But just so I can see more of him, right? I hope, because there is a lot of Doctor Stranges, he's a pretty prominent character, that I hope a good amount of people buy that skin, just so I can selfishly look at it when I'm playing, because it's really, really cool. But okay, so back to our girl Malice here. They're both centered in the same spot, so if I change, okay. So there she is. Let's play. What's the music? What's the move for today? Let's do that. I've been doing, like I said, Spotify, getting used to using this now because it's not, Spotify is not what I've used. I've been a Google Music, Google Play Music, and then a YouTube Music person. But for the sake of streaming, I kind of have to do Spotify so I can create a VOD without this audio track. Okay, that looks clean. Audio levels. I just clicked on, what is this? Oh, it's a public playlist that just popped up. Had Black Keys, Neon Trees, The Struts, Muse, Killers, My Chemical Romance, 21 Pilots, Dirty Honey, Jimmy Eat World, Finger 11. Yeah, I don't need anything crazy. Okay. Yeah. Ooh. All right, cool. All right, so let's reveal back my absolute mess of a hair. Okay, so now again we're fiddling here, right? We're getting used to this darn arm. I tried off stream because I did it on stream and that was kind of a mess trying to do it. I went through and was trying to edit, like adjust the arm here. I was trying to unscrew stuff, you know, like loosen stuff and all that. Keep in mind, like I said, this is an old arm of mine. This is an Ergotron from when I got my like old school Cintiq. This Ergotron arm has seen like 7 different homes, 3 different states. And what is this, 15 years maybe? I'm in my oh no, 12 years I think it's been I've had this. So it's an old arm and it's been like it's been through the ringer, you know? So it's not like it's like going to be perfect. But also the Ergotron arms are pricey, as if anybody knows. They're like $160. And so if you get like the cheaper ones, they kind of work for sure. But like for this use case, the Ergotron arm that I wanted, I got the cheap version of it and it would have worked. But the pole that it uses is great if you want a higher monitor. I don't want it like bonkers high. Having it super high is actually disadvantageous to me. That's not how I want it. So since it's beside me here also, imagine like you're sitting at your desk, right? And then you just have like a flagpole next to you go into the sky. That's obnoxious. And so luckily the Ergotron that I had that was used to just hold up a monitor is much smaller, the bar, because Ergotron are by default smaller poles and you can buy the upgraded ones. And so at least it's not as obnoxious, but still pretty obnoxious if you ask me, as someone who loves a clean and seamless desk. But I will say I talked with people at Sketchboard, and they told me that they basically said, you're doing it wrong. Everyone loves it. Deal with it. Which is effing BS. Like, this is what everyone wanted. Yours is just, you just don't like it. They said everybody asked for this no lip on the iPad. Everybody asked for this and that. And I'm like, you sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that? Because I don't think so. I don't think anybody asked for that. You're talking to idiots or people who don't really use it enough, because having a little bit of tension is a good thing on an object like this, because it's going to bow out. And they were trying to argue, they're like, maybe your iPad's busted and this and that. Yes, actually it is busted. But like, it's also not busted in the sense of it being warped, right? I don't overheat the thing. I don't use it to the point where it's going to overheat. I don't do anything other than draw on this thing, right? But also, it's been in the sketchboard basically since I bought this damn iPad. So it's not like, if anything, it's like, okay, well, it was in your old device the whole time. So obviously, I don't think it's my iPad or some sort of problem there, but whatever. I think the problem with does lie with me, right? With anything, we need to adjust. I love what's the phrase? It's you cannot adjust the direction of the wind, but you can always adjust your sails. And it's cheesy, but it's a good thought that, like, yeah, the shit's happening, right? This board is not what I like exactly. However, I can adjust. I can course correct, right? So, words to live by. Look at that. You're here for a philosophy lesson too. Anyway, so here's Malice again. If you guys forgot where we were at with her, I went to go do, so if you see next to me, this thing with the Ninja Turtle blanket. It looks silly. It's a giant round shape. Realistically, it doesn't look good in the room in terms of a camera because it's the only super round shape in the room. And that's okay. Because it's comfortable as hell. And my girlfriend will lay in it, and she's tiny. She's like 5 something. She'll curl up in that and she gets engulfed. And she will, the joke is she can't last double-digit time because she'll be asleep before 10 minutes passes when she sits in that. So she'll sit on the floor sometimes in front of it to not immediately fall asleep. But so yesterday off stream, after I did some dishes and was doing some laundry and I had lunch, I was like, all right, I'm going to tackle a little more in the office or in the game room here. I'm going to hop on here, just relax and try and draw. I fell asleep immediately. Immediately. I don't know what it is. I texted her, I was like, you were right. You were right all along. I can't. You just fall asleep immediately. So if you ever would like to fall asleep, if you got sleeping problems, apparently that's the move. It's not a Love Sack, but it's like it was like a slightly off brand. It was like $120 or something like that. Whereas like I think Love Sack was like 900. So, economically priced. But all right, so let's readjust. Let's try and find a sweet spot for today. I know last time what I did was I moved these arms up. And I feel like that definitely helped a little bit for me, at least. Me, for my money. But we'll see if that is still the case or what. Again, it's hard that I can't really... Okay. We're going to try this. This feels good. Ish. Ish is good. But again, I'm facing away from you guys. But that's okay. Is this my good side at least? It's the bright side, that's for sure. So today I just want to pretty much... I need to move the mic though. It is weird. When I'm playing games, I feel like the mic doesn't ever feel like it's in the way. But for some reason, like when you're playing games, you're looking straight ahead, right? I'm looking at the screen. But when I'm on the iPad, I'm looking down, and like in my immediate vision is this giant mechanical chunk, right? This mass is what takes my vision. So I'm trying to find a sweet spot where I can have it like in talking distance, but not so much so that it's just like obnoxious in my face. But that's, again, something I'll just have to get used to. But anyway, so what I was playing with last night was cleaning the shapes up in general. And just kind of, so I don't know how much I'm going to want like line work visible. It gives it a different feel though. Once you have the line work behind it, it helps crunch it a little bit. And I kind of like the little bit of energy and like messiness that provides. I'm a fan of sketchy things. I don't know. Let's hammer out. So like I said, we do not want any of the top-down elements. So we don't even have a gradient on here. But so what I'm going to want to do eventually is do this, right? Give a little bit of rim lighting on the body just to make it pop more. Because right now it feels a little not perfect. But okay, so I'm going to have to bump up the opacity just a hair on this sketch layer because I can't I can't see anything. And this arm, I don't know if it needs to go lower, if it needs to go higher. Don't mind me, still just... Okay, this feels more natural-ish. But okay, let's get moving here. So we already started working on her leg. I've just been using my fill. So I've got a fill brush. Who made this brush? Martin Abel. Martin Abel, if you're out there, good stuff. I've tweaked this a little bit, but then like I've made a liner brush out of it. So I changed the attributes on it a little bit, given it some the streamline, whatever. And that definitely helps for edge work with this brush. So I want to go back, and we're working on her legs, right? On her tights. So it looks like I cleaned up those edges enough. So let's quick go to the purple and start cleaning this up. Or not. Oh my goodness. The touch on this, like I said, has been a little finicky. Get a cleaner edge. Okay. Just filling in the space here. Nothing. Just filling it in and kind of cleaning up. So what eraser do I have on here? Oh, it's a sketch eraser. I should use the... So if I'm doing edge stuff like this, I like to keep the same eraser as the brush. Because what that means is you're going to kind of simulate the same edges. So like if I erase a thing, it'll kind of be the same edge that was being created anyway. So it's not like you're doing some weird stuff with that. So that is a big eraser. Because right here, if you remember, this is just the little bit of this showing between the big toe and the I don't know what toes are called. The index toe, is that a thing? Sure, the index toe. No. Would that be the index? Yeah, that's like, so this is thumb, right? That's toe thumb. I've never thought of it that way, I guess. I don't want to ever again because it's kind of weird. Got my toe thumb, but it does make sense that that's what that would be more so. So let's have that terminate earlier. And we'll have to adjust. We use the same, yeah, the same color for the nails. I couldn't remember if that's what we decided yesterday. We'll have to definitely fill in some more of her skin tone there. Once we get to that, make note that I will need to do that. These edges are dirty. Stuff like this, when you're cleaning stuff up, the main thing to do is just remember, like, what was the curve you were trying to do, right? So what is the curve that I was trying to keep with this? And make sure you stay true to that shape. So this instance, I wanted, this curve was wrapping around the leg going behind in a way, right? So I just want to make sure at the very least we're keeping that curve alive and not adjusting it too much to the point where suddenly it's not what our goal was. Because it's easy when you're cleaning up lines here, for me at least, to lose sight of the visual, like overall image you were building. So if you constantly are double checking, it's good. Again, I think this is going to be the last one I do for a bit that is this, like, I'm actually paying attention this much, because this is too time consuming and I don't really care to do it this way every time. It defeats the energy of being able to stream stuff in my mind. I want to be able to get a couple things out regularly, but if I'm too busy doing fine details like this that aren't even that interesting, like I'm not solving problems too much at this phase, right? I'm cleaning. And so there's not too much to really talk about, unfortunately, when you're in this stage of a piece. So from a streaming perspective, yes, this would be fine if we were all just chilling and talking and I'm just kind of cruising through. But right now, early on in my streaming, since there's not a lot of people here, it's not the most exciting to talk about on my own. And it makes things a little hard to communicate when I don't have too much to talk with. Like at least the other way, I've got stuff I can point out and tell you what I'm doing, why I'm doing. Not as much here. This is just kind of, hey, you get why I'm doing it because I'm just cleaning up lines or I'm adjusting the shapes better. I can still talk about it, but it's not as helpful and easy on my end to do so. This toenail was weird looking. It was weird looking in every capacity, though, not just the paint. But I kind of like that. The last time I did any sort of like finger or toenail similar to this was an Evil Lyn drawing I did a long time ago when I was kind of like redoing a lot of Masters of the Universe characters. It looked cool. I liked how she turned out. But it's been a while. I wonder if we can stretch this curve of her behind, like the hip going back a little more. Again, super not real. Human body does not do this, but it's okay. Okay. So I know it's cold here. Always is, not a surprise. But even one of my buddies in California sent a thing and he's got frost on his windshield today. Weather is doing a lot of things right now. Oh, this technically isn't that color we established, right? It's technically this gray. But that, we're going to lie and say it is this color because it's going to look weird. It's going to break the silhouette of her chest if we do it the actual color it is. Nobody needs to know. Don't tell anybody, okay? Promise? I won't tell if you don't. Oh, I thought I was on the skin tone right now. Doy. Where's the shoulder I drew? It's always hard because, like, on top of this shoulder, I already had some of the gray. So the color's already there and I didn't realize. Okay. So it's easy if we just go in. So like what I like to do Again, this is a longer process. I don't normally like to do it this way because this is more time consuming than I need it to be. But again, we've committed this time, so we're going to commit today. But then afterwards on stream, we will, we're learning. We're learning together. And this isn't necessarily something I think is the most efficient use of our time in the future. But for now, again, like I said, we've committed to it, so it's okay. And we'll finish up what we've got. So it's always a push and pull though, because the second, like you see I erase these things, I thought I was done with purple, right? But realistically, this purple now has gaps, or the skin now has gaps, right? So this is why it takes so long doing it this neurotic way of mine, especially in Procreate where you don't have the easy tool selections. I forgot to tweet out that we were going live. I don't think it really matters, but where'd the pen go? Oh my gosh. So each day now with the new board, I've told myself I need to get, I have a grip for this and a little stand. I keep forgetting to grab it. It's somewhere in the lower level of our house, but where that is, I think I know, but I just keep forgetting when I'm off stream. I only remember it when I'm on, which is not really too helpful, is it? What is going on with my hand recognition? Okay. How does her... Okay. I was looking at the, like, tassel thing. Oh, so this is actually... comes in contact with the belly. So... what if we give it a little bit of shape there? So this is probably going to be covered by silver, but since we're here, I might as well just fill it in general, just so the space has something as I go to color it again. this in front? Okay. I don't remember what color is in front of what. So it's like I need to shape it with the negative space then instead. So we're actually doing this as negative space, kind of thinking of it, you know, like how this will go, even though your brain doesn't see the, like the gray doesn't go into this spot yet. You just gotta kind of have to pretend it is. Well, let's swap back to that purple so we can fill in some of the spots now that we've got here that have been opened up. Again, this doesn't need to be the most perfect thing ever, because we're not going to be looking that close. Well, oh, no, we are not on purple. I thought we were on purple still. Now let's go back to purple and fill in this little bit of stuff here. Start cruising along a little quicker because this is going to take a while. It's been a while. There we go. Legs look good-ish. So cleaning up on the tight color, right? Yeah. The Spanx or whatever. So fill in that little bit of stomach, knee thigh, and a little more of the thigh here. Wow, look how clean. Let's go back to the red, right? Let's get this. I was going to call it her scarf because I keep calling it something. It's a big old scarf because it technically is falling back from the scarf. So the scarf exists in space around her neck, and this is actually where it falls back to. So it goes around and is wrapped that way. So this really is just a big old scarf. It's nothing more than that. But it looks like a cape then, which is kind of cool. Definitely gonna have to clean up her face shape soon too. As always, once you clean up the face, I feel like everything else starts falling in line, just because it's such an important part for our eyes to peek at. If the face looks like a mess still, everything kind of still looks like a mess. Not that it really matters. The plan is obviously we're doing the whole thing, but just saying like from an immediate satisfaction or gratification perspective, sometimes it definitely helps to do the part that will make you look at it and not be frustrated with it early on. Because it just looks like, oh, we're going somewhere, right? Not floundering or something weird. Yeah, I look forward to next week when we do a quicker process. This is unneeded, unnecessarily long. Okay. Okay, need to clean up her wrists. Or forearms, I guess, whatever, because since we're on the red. Again, I apologize how boring this is. Again, maybe though, like, where I don't think I'm, like, I look at stuff and in my mind, I'm like, I gain nothing from this, right? But in the same token, just because I don't gain anything, maybe... I'm forgetting it, sorry. You know, the window here. I get packages and different things like that, and my brain just doesn't understand what I'm looking at. But anyway, so this would technically be red too, right? Because this is the trim of the other, but let's make it thinner so it doesn't compete too much. So we still understand it's a shadow. And sometimes the backside of trim is smaller than the front. So it's not like super out of character to do that. I thought someone was delivering a package, but no, it's a car just parked in the middle of the road in front of my house. Don't know what they're doing. Doesn't look like they're in trouble. You know, not like something's wrong with the car. They're just chilling. Anyway, so let's do the same thing up here, right? Let's fill out this space a little bit more. This is actually receding in, so it's technically not happening right here. So what we do is we cut it, so there's a hard edge, right? So it cuts in at that point. So our brain acknowledges that, like, oh, this is actually coming from a different spot now, behind in space, which isn't like, it's those little details that help sell the direction of movement that I feel like beginner artists aren't able to think of that as much. Like, I know I didn't. Your brain just goes, yeah, it's the strap there now. But like, really picture it in 3D space. Where would that go? How would that curve happen? What is happening there that can convey to the viewer what you're trying to sell? And again, I implore anybody who wants to do illustration or just 2D work in general, I cannot stress enough, learn 3D. Learn how to do at least some basics in 3D. And even if they look like doo-doo water, that's fine. Don't worry about it. They can look like doo-doo water. It's not a problem. But it will help train your brain as to like what you're looking for and how shapes are actually rotating in space. Ooh, somebody's rang the doorbell now. I'm so confused. Oh, I bet it's somebody just soliciting stuff going around the houses then. Do I have a text of sorts? No. Trying to think if I had anything that needed a signature. Don't mind me, I'm just creeping. Don't know. Not my problem right now. I got stuff to do. Just let their dog go too. What? I don't know what's going on. Stop looking outside, man. It's nonsense. That dog's adorable, though. It is a huge, fluffy dog that's just running around in the snow. And let me tell you, dogs make the snow 1,000 times better. When you're in Chicago here and you see someone just have their dog running around and it looks so unbelievably happy in the snow, I love it. I absolutely love that. They've got the purest of energy, right? Like they're just having fun. I love it so much. So I'm making these to a different size, just slightly. Again, just the idea that in 2D, I like to kind of not make everything samey, even if they are the same. But that is pretty stark difference here. There we go. Now that looks a little better. It's a little different of a shape. Cool. Now, what else is it? That's the only red part there, right? Are those 2 red things? You got the scarf, got the straps. Pretty much it, right? I can't think of anything. All right, so shall we move to the dark gray now? I think that's the bigger one. I know I said her face, but dark gray is going to shape the face too. But I never saw anybody leave the front of our house, so I'm guessing it's just someone, yeah, who parked and is just on foot cruising around. So is this behind or in front? Okay, it is behind the red. So that makes my job 1,000 times easier. I feel like this is like when we have color now, this part of the strap looks like it's jutting out too much. So I'm going to fake that. Different than what we originally drew. That's one thing too. Sometimes when you start putting color in, you see things you didn't in just sketch form, right? So what didn't look too big before, now suddenly with a contrasting color of this gray on her, you know, pale skin, pale-ish skin, it just feels really, really intense then. So kind of need to reshape it, not just saying you're Kate. It's not just a 1-for-1 with what you've already drawn, right? You need to be solving the problems still as you're drawing the or painting. I kind of like that I drew this little break in here. So we'll fill it with the tights and the purple again. Just because I think that looks good. I like the idea. Maybe let's fill it with purple. That would make more sense. We got so much gray here that like the straps do exist in a spot that could have some openings, right? So why not give it a little bit of an opening there just to mix it up so it's not just all harsh. So yeah, we'll fill that with purple. I think that'll look good. I actually don't like this curve now. This is looking weird. Let's do that and fill in this red real quick. Man, my throat today. Scratchy as hell. I don't know if you guys can hear that. But if this strap still, there we go. simplifying the shape, but also not, I mean, this whole backside is all of these different wraps and straps on her body, right? So I feel like you can't just say it's completely flat. I like giving it a little bit. When you're zoomed out, you don't see it. It's not too big of a deal, one way or the other. But then when you zoom in, you can definitely see it. So might as well sell it. So how does her chest? Her chest just falls under the scarf anyway. So if we had a clean line for the scarf, this should be fine to just fill in the scarf above it anyway. Is the hair... The hair is in front. That's an interesting choice of layering that I did. Okay. Why did I put the hair? Oh, it's just because of this. The head part, probably. That seems dumb, though. Maybe I break it up into 2 pieces of hair. Oops. I feel like I should just erase all. So there's a lot of purple here that doesn't need to be here at all, because that color doesn't exist in this spot with this arm. Like, I don't know what you'd call this. This arm thing. It's like a bracelet for your bicep. Bicep. Bracelet, bicep. That was stupid. Don't listen to me. All right, let's get rid of all this purple though, because this is completely in the way. And it kind of masks. I can't tell where the gray is properly then if you've got too much of the other color behind it. But that's fine. I want to put the skin tone there and fill that space probably a little. Right? That gonna look good. This shape looks stupid though. We want that going. The tricep falls behind the shoulder. So we still want to allude to that wrapped around the tricep. Wonderful. Ooh, this hand is messy. Fill in the negative space. Clean up the edges for the straps. Again, when you have the eraser the same as the brush, you can use the eraser, and it's basically like you're carving then, just carving away that mass. Car is still parked in front of my house. Now they're in front of the driveway, like blocking the driveway. What the hell? Really should probably go look at that, but not gonna right now. Like they moved the car, so clearly nothing's wrong with the car. They just moved it. Weird. That look good. Greystone. This chest circle is kind of hard to figure out what I want to do. I finally left. What was that? Super weird. Okay. Well, it's already 12. Holy crap. Well, main goal today is at least the colors are completely cleaned. And then we can do like shadows, highlights, all that kind of stuff tomorrow and Friday, and on tomorrow, which is Friday. And then hopefully call it and have her done at least then. Because we've got the rough idea already. I did the rough work for her as is, so it shouldn't be too bad. It's behind, crap. Behind the red, in front of the purple. So today is Thursday. So we will be doing a little bit of streaming of games later. But again, I've got a lot I want to do with the video content. So hopefully sooner than later I get a better balance where I feel like I can get more done. But that's not today or not this week. But again, this is all new. Growing pains are fine, and that's okay. How do I have the? Oh, okay. There's a lot of sketches here. So 1, 2, 3, the joint. Did not remember how I had solved with the way the fingers were oriented, so I was very confused when the sketches were like, sometimes your line work underneath like that is just a lot going on, and that is definitely what was happening here. Good enough for the hand, right? That sells the idea. Hands are done. Chest armor is done. Now we got these big ol'. This is okay. This is in front of the purple. I want to be sure I keep. So what I did with these originally were they were like, so the leg is very curvy, right? It's a lot of soft movement, her leg. So I want these straps to be the opposite then, right? I want them to be kind of aggressive feeling because there's all the spikes on them. So I want them to feel aggressive. So to make it feel aggressive, I gave it a lot more hard angles like this. So with these hard angles, I want to be sure I don't lose that though, because that is part of what I was trying to do. So really, again, like I said, keeping in mind when you're doing colors, remembering what you were doing when you were drawing is important, because if you just start filling in, kinda, you'll lose a lot of what the energy was behind the choices you made. Zero without the spikes though right now to understand. Some of these spikes I barely like did a brush stroke at all for, so they're just like little nubs. Which I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of funny seeing these little spike nubs, but not quite what we will keep in the end. But as I keep in the energy, yeah, those are looking pretty chunky and aggressive. So we'll keep that up and make this last one here the same, where it's like pretty big, hard open there, right? Cut that. Going up and around the leg. Big. Feel like I need to, while I'm doing this, since it's in tandem, I need to look at the purple real quick because I feel like the leg is not, there we go. the ankle existed in a space that where the leg just kind of floated there, and it got real small real quick. So this way the ankle now connects to the shin, where before it was kind of just chilling. Okay, we're still working on the grays. The gray. Get her other ankle, or the foot still now, right? We gotta get this foot strap in. Whoops. Didn't switch back to the gray. So I want to keep the arc of that foot visible because it looked weird go in the opposite direction. So trying to make sure it's sticking out on top, but then curving at bottom. So the foot is a couple straps, right? It's two. So I'm going to break that shape up to there. So it feels like this piece is continuing. Like the bottom strap is actually the one that's floating or falling down. Looks like it's coming from something then rather than just existing because we wanted it to. Okay, cleaning these up. Okay, that's pretty clean. Funky. Again, just going through, making sure these edges look nice and crisp, but also making sure I fortify these shapes that I already kind of alluded to before, but then making them more prominent. And like here, the one side was pretty jagged, right? For her ankle here. So I'm just going to do like a little simple here. So it's not. So to contrast it a little bit, right? This will, oh my gosh, erasers. Cool. Spiky, spiky, spiky. A little bit more of a curve to this. It just looks kind of weird. So if it has it, there we go. So it comes down a little bit. It looks more real. And then the strap technically goes around the foot. So I'm okay giving it like a little bit more love here. And then like sometimes you just erase the whole thing to rebuild. So like there, I just erase that whole edge just so I can rebuild it. And now it looks better. Okay. So it looks like we can do the purple, fix the purples real quick, and then we'll do spikes. We're trying to lightning round it now, okay? Gotta go quick. Gotta go fast. That actually looks really dumb on the gray side. Alrighty. What did I need to fix? I said there's some, oh, right here. And of course, we exposed a little purple again. Okay, so what if we get rid of the lines on top just real quick to kind of... It's looking pretty clean. Let's work on these spikes. So we've got the silver hair that I don't want to go here. This is going to have to go behind everything, right? Oh, we had this purple though, right? I want this purple to go under. Just tying up loose ends right now, right? So this purple was going to exist underneath here. Also, I don't like the way this cuts. I didn't really define this edge. I think that was my problem, right? We didn't realize this continued that way. So we'll just fake a curve here from the shoulder pad into this, just to kind of mirror that curvature. Almost too mirrored though. What if we, so this is the shoulder. What if, so this way the shoulder piece has its own, we made a new edge, right? So if you do it this way, kind of might look better because we're building a new edge instead of just saying it's connected or like parallel, right? So let's re-add that purple underneath. And then, oh, the red, isn't it, here? Oh, that silver is in front of it. I did not realize. Ah. Okay. She's looking real clean. Her arm, though, what do we never fixed this little gap on the arm, so let's go to her actual flesh, not the tights. Flesh is here. Crap. I pulled from the flesh that had a highlight on it, I think. Problem. So remove this. Recolor pick. Yeah, that was slightly off because of that highlight. I need to keep that highlight off for now. So that's definitely something when you're doing block-ins, if you accidentally added like a little bit of detail at one point, be sure you remove it. Because then when you're color picking, like what just happened here, I actually pulled the color that had a highlight on it already. So it wasn't the actual base color. So it looked really, it was a little more desaturated and bright than what the base looks like. So then it definitely looked like something was wrong. So always just got to be aware of the order of operations kind of that you do things, because otherwise you'll run into stupid problems like that, like I just did. And then feel dumb if you don't catch it. And then like an hour later in the process, you're like, why the heck is this chunk not looking right? And you'll realize you made the mistake a long while back. And then you feel real dumb. But don't worry, we've all done it. And if you've done it, you'll probably do it again. Okay. Got some purple on the foot we need to quickly touch up as well. Oh, since we're doing skin tone, right? Let's go back to the toes. Because this spot was never cleaned up either. Not that I want to clean it up. Toes are weird. Unless you're into that. Just kidding. Even if you're into that, that's weird. Do not like them. Looks like we should change that. The knuckle kind of looks a little weird. It was on the brush. Yeah, that silver looks weird how hard of an edge that is now for the toe. We'll round out with silver though. Not the other way around. And same with the purple of the toe then. Like of the tight cutting in here. This looks kind of silly. But if we just soften it up. And now man, it's just a constant push and pull, isn't it? Because this toe now looks kind of way fatter than it really is supposed to be. Okay, good enough for these toes. Filling this a little bit of the belly from the tights that were exposed. Got the scarf. Where's the red? The pure red. Let's fill this space now. This is below everything, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Just so this looks cleaner. That's the other red. It's looking pretty good. By pretty good, I mean almost at least blocked in for colors. So it is 12:20, so we gotta go fast. So let's get the silver blocked in now for all the little bits and bobs of the spikes and stuff. Where is the silver? I'm guessing it's this. So the silver, if you remember, we pulled was definitely a little bit more blue. And I'm happy with that decision we made. One thing to note then while we're doing these spikes, talking of like keeping the original idea intact, when you're dealing with details like this, you want to make sure you, like, these have a finite start, right? On the inner part of the, like there's a round part and there's a pointy part and there's different stuff like that. So like we want to make sure like what we just did, it's going the right orientation basically is all I'm getting at, is that they're continuing the right path. And we're not changing the orientation somehow. Like if I forgot to do this part, that looks different, right? It's coming from a different spot. So I know it always looks like I'm bouncing between layers like a crazy person. And it looks like that because I am. And I am a crazy person. And if you're looking at that and thinking it's messy and hectic, you would be correct. It is messy and hectic and not ideal. But like we've all got our own like weird methods, and I'm definitely not opposed to making mine better because this is too slow and more error prone because of so many things like that. So how was this supposed to be? This was behind space, right? So we want to, oops, make sure we don't draw the bottom side because that actually is then going to make it be in the wrong spot. They're all like pretty pointy, and then that one I made real curved for some reason. Going the right way. Man, this little guy. Not even a P. It was just a tiny little guy. Yeah, these are looking much better. As soon as you start these fine details now of actually blocking in the correct size and color and stuff, looks a lot better. This spike, I think, yeah, this spike was receding in space from behind the visible point of the foot, so do not want it to have bottom. Is this the skin tone or the gray here? The gray. Spiky. We're going, we're going, we're going. Blitzkrieging, blitzkrieging. Quick, 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 quick. Okay. And this one looks behind everything, right? So again, no butt for us. I don't know why this spike looks weird. Oh, it's because it's following this curve. What if we just rotate it real quick? So it's going again, like it's following that shape too much. Did you see that? So it's following this line. It felt too like parallel with that. So if we break that shape and create like a more obscure angle, I think that looks better, yeah. Okay. A long, thin spike here. Like what I'll do sometimes, I don't do it all the time because I like it more organic, but if you hold got another spammy. Yeah, it definitely seems body. I'm good. I see you, Athena. I'm guessing you are a spam bot though. And now you've distracted me. I don't remember where I was. Down here. No, I don't always do the straight line because sometimes it looks very inorganic. But at the same time, these are spikes, so why do I need to be weird about it? I like how I say that, and now I'm just like, screw it. We straight edge it because I just want to be done. But that looks real bad now. Too ugly. This one I kind of want to change. We see more of the base visible, so it looks like it's rotating more in space. So if we make so here what we'll do is we make the spike itself, and then it feels like it's rotating a little bit because we got a little bit rounder part at the base. So technically what I could do is I could make a selection of like the skin or the leg here and invert it so that nothing can be drawn on that spot, which again, I would do if I was in Photoshop. I feel like it's such a pain in the butt to do on Procreate. And it's not like the worst really. It's like an extra step and I'd rather not. Hopefully with this looking pointy, this will help, because this was looking weird. There we yeah, some of these shapes with the spikes were looking so unnatural in like a lumpy way that it was not looking right. I'm glad I'm finally getting this to look better. Finger gestures are all over the place. That's red is a little intense there. Okay. That looks right. All right, how close are we? 12:30. Well, we're getting past the time we wanted. Crap. Almost there though. So let's at least get the silvers done. That said, I skipped the silver on accident. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. So I haven't been too talkative this stream, and I apologize. Again, like I said, it's been a weird day or two for me, honestly. And then on top of that, this is a weird stage that I'm in right now for this piece. Again, to recap, we definitely said we'll learn from this, right? And I don't really feel like doing this kind of work on stream if I can avoid it next time. And to solve that, what we'll do is just not do this type of finished piece as often. We'll do some. But what we can do is do more quicker pieces, pump more stuff out, and get more life. Like right now, these poses and everything, while they feel alive, become stagnant when you work something too long, right? Like the energy that you put into it just feels different when you're just noodling around. So to solve that, we'll do that kind of stuff. But for now, this week is again another learning tool, but we can work from here. Weekend is coming up, and something to note on my end is it's the first weekend we don't have like a million things going on. But since like Thanksgiving, I feel like it's been thing after thing after thing after thing after thing after thing after thing. And my poor girlfriend busts her ass at work every day. Very physical, very mental, very, very draining in general. And so I know I'm looking forward for her that we don't have like any big parties. We're not hosting anything. There's no major commitments, you know. So I'm glad we've got that coming up. But I would not be opposed if her and I end up at the it's called Graham Cracker Comics here in Chicago. Big comic book chain. Because the new Ninja Turtle and Naruto crossover issue is out. It was out yesterday, but definitely did not go get it. And so if we're out, you know, I'm not opposed to stopping by there and grabbing it. It's volume 2. The first issue was great, super fun. Not much happened, but it got hyped just because the visuals, right? The art in that is phenomenal. And I'm just excited to see more of this world of Ninja Turtles and Naruto, right? Like I don't even care what the story is. Am I reading it? Obviously. But Could I just look at it like it's a picture book and be completely content? 1000%. Like, it's pretty. But yeah, so they've got a pretty wide release window for like volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. I think right now it's just set to a limited run of like 5-issue miniseries or something like that. But who knows if it, gets picked up for more or what. I mean, if we look at Ninja Turtles, they usually do small crossovers either way. Like, we've got plenty of Batman ones, we've got the Power Ranger ones, Ghostbusters, so on and so forth. So this is the first that I know, though, that is not like an American IP that they're mixing with as directly. Like, obviously, I think, did they do Godzilla? I'm just saying, like, an anime, though, or a manga. This is, like, to my knowledge, the first time the Ninja Turtles have crossed over with an IP like this before, and that's pretty dope. And I hope it did really well to the point. It seems like it's been getting a lot of hype online and all that stuff. So I'm hoping what that means is we get more. Yes, it definitely is a cool crossover. Also, welcome. Not sure how long you've been in chat, but it's been a slower day, and that's okay. I've been a little off. And if you're in chat now and it's already this time, I'm about to head out in just a little bit. I think the goal now is to just, I want the silvers done. It'll just basically be the hair, I think, then, that we need to fine tune the actual colors for, like, the outlines. And then tomorrow we should be able to tomorrow would be more fun to watch, I suppose, because we'll have more of the coloring done. Like, the base colors already plopped in and the outline. So then what I'll do is I'll create masking layers, or clipping masks on this, I guess, sorry. Make clipping masks on top of these like I do, so I can add the shadows and the highlights more directly and a little more simply. So it's one of those things where, like, this is the step where when you do it, it makes the later steps easier, but also real boring at first. Like, real boring. Gotcha. Hopefully lunch is delicious. I'm about to get mine, and I can't come soon enough. My stomach's been grumbling. I got up at 9 today, and I immediately ate a Cliff Bar. Like, gobbled it up, ran downstairs, put it in my mouth. And so I definitely, it's been a window since I've had any food then. And that protein is sounding mighty fine right now. So as I'm doing this looks really weird. It looks really thin. The perspective I drew of this sketch is not lining up with the reality. And that's something I've ran into a few times today, where it's like the idea looked fine in a rough sketch form, but then the second you start laying down the color, you kind of need to course correct a little bit and reinvent that shape. It's like something you thought looked good no longer does, because you're looking at it more holistically and completely now when there's color involved. Like, here, I drew that spike there, but I think it should be a little smaller and a little lower now that the colors are in and I can see the overall shape better. to go even further down, actually, now that I'm looking at it. Okay. That should be good. It's really fat, though. Let's thin it up. Okay. I'm going to shut off. Where is this top layer? Close that out. She looking clean. Clean edges now. Again, trying something different this time with outline work. Just doing different styles all the time to practice stuff, but definitely, as I've been saying, I'm going to adjust and make it quicker stuff moving forward. Lean into the sketchiness in the future, and that's okay. Whereas right now I've been trying to clean too much. But since we committed to this cleaner look for this piece, kind of need to finish it off strong with that way. And then can adjust next week in the future. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm thinking maybe I'll do Magneto, just because I've done Sexy Lady now, and I'd rather do a couple cool, quick Magneto poses. And I really want to dive into, once this one with Sue is done, the House of M Magnus, or Magneto. That's a cool story. And it'll force me to maybe finally read the full story of House and Fall of M, and then the Powers of X, which are the series after that Magneto spawns from. So here's another example of, like, I don't know how well the angle read in the sketch. So need to readjust it a little bit here in more final colors. So I think we're going to go till 1 at this point, and then I'll call it with whatever I have done. And then again, today's Thursday, so we will stream a little bit of games. Not a whole lot, but a lot I want to get done still, as usual. So while games are on the schedule, I cannot devote too much time to them. And it's not like I'm probably going to be doing well either. Probably get my butt kicked like I do in ranked lately. But maybe I'll get out of, I think I'm in silver right now. Maybe, just maybe, I can get closer to getting out of that and at least back to gold. And then way better. This season, I hope I get better than gold. That was rough. Ooh, that's an ugly spot here. I never cleaned up, apparently. It was masked by the weird unfinished spike that I didn't see. How ugly that edge is. Bang, bang, bang. Okay. I said 12 or 1, and I don't even know what time. Okay, so it's about 15 minutes. That should be enough at least to finish and clean up everything but the hair, probably. And then maybe I will do the hair. I will really try to do the hair off stream so that then I can just do shading and more, detailed highlights and stuff tomorrow. And I don't have to touch any of the outline then, and it'll just be done. Hopefully. I always say that. And then when push comes to shove, the time does not line up. So again, this would be an instance where selecting the red would make it so much easier to avoid overlap and issues here. But I also, like I've said many times now, hate Procreate with this. That is one of my biggest complaints, that like it does not do it well, and it feels like it's taking too long to do the thing, as opposed to how much time you're actually going to save. And crap, I forgot these spikes are behind the hair, so this will be interesting how we'll handle these. I wonder if we just turn off the hair for the moment. Yeah, we'll turn off the hair, do the spikes, and then maybe we'll clean up. Like I said, maybe I'll reposition the layer so that the hair is no longer in front of the spikes. The only problem with that is then we'll have to clean up the skull area a little bit better. But I think that is a net win overall, because this is super awkward keeping the hair on the layer in front of something like this when these are clearly in front of it. And so it makes it messier. So kind of like we did on one of the foot spikes, if we give a little, like, it looks like it's distorted here, but that's on purpose, because then if we really think about how that looks in space, it's kind of as if it's like the base of it. So we're looking at it from a slightly above angle. She's leaning down. Does it look bad if it overlaps? No. It breaks up the shapes a little bit since everything else is pretty evenly spaced. Not evenly spaced apart, but there's definitely like adequate space between things. If we give that a little bit of an overlap in 3D space, it feels, again, more organic. The more random it feels, the more organic it'll feel than usually when it comes to something like that. Oh my goodness, the eraser. Okay, we'll need to switch to the gray after this before we even look at the hair, just because we've dirtied up a lot of edges here now that we've removed from the spike color. So now we've got a lot of these weird gaps in the gray that we'll need to touch up real quick. Including whatever this is. I don't even know why that's there. And then we saw that other edge that we exposed earlier too. That was super messy. So we'll go clean that up in a second as well. Okay, what was the oh, right here. Shoulders going underneath the scarf, so we need to make it more of a clean connection there. That spike looks really little, but I think that'll be okay. All right, so basically everything but the head is done now. Oh, fart, and the spikes on her head. Holy stromboli, I completely forgot about those. Okay, well, I guess we literally will get the the spikes done and that's it. So, have to go and do this off stream. Otherwise, you'll be bored out of your mind. This will be an interesting spot too because I need to redo the shapes of the head here too. Because this is one spot we didn't really touch up either. So whatever we do here doesn't need to be unbelievably polished up for the connection points to the head. So don't waste the time, right? So like if I know I'm going to have to be redoing where the head is right now, like this edge right here, I don't need to solve that because I'm going to have to resolve it after I do the other parts, right? So don't force yourself into doing more work than you have to. If you know something's going to be readjusted, why mess with it right now? You know? So, wasted time. So again, here I'll... This I know, this edge is actually pretty much staying the way it is, but those other parts of her head are going to be tweaked. So for here, I can clean it as if the way I want it, but then the other parts, not as much worth it. Not worth it as much. Well, now it's a race. Can I at least get the spikes done in time? Can he do it, folks? 5 minutes on the clock. Yeah, I'll have the spikes done at least. Okay. So again, always double checking. Where was this? This was behind the head, so we wouldn't have the base of the spike visible anyway. So be sure we keep what we just... Be sure we stick to the decisions we made if we can. Makes it easier. The decisions we made, again, like I said before, in the sketching process. Why does that look droopy? That spike is droopy for some reason. Fun story about the song that's playing right now. It is a My Chemical Romance song, and this album, when it came out, I don't know, was I a senior in college? I think it was. I was in college, and I was super excited. So we live in Chicago area, right? So it's cold. And I remember for some reason I associate it with this because this is the song I was listening to, I think, on my way over. So I had a good friend who I go to her apartment all the time, and I walk over there, right? Because we were all pretty close at the school. It was all connected connected apartments to an extent. And so I would walk there in the winter and just, quick throw in a jacket, do my thing. But I still go for walks all the time. And just because it was college Britain doesn't mean it was any different, right? I still went on walks all the time. And so I remember going to her her apartment the one day, and I was super excited. I can't talk. Super excited because I'd gotten new headphones. And the headphones were like a Philips O'Neill collaboration. O'Neill, the the snowboarding and stuff company. And so the whole point of them, they were called the Philips O'Neill Stretch. And what they could do is they could bend. The plastic that they were made of were super malleable. So the idea was, even if you crashed or did whatever on the slopes, it was fine. Obviously, I wasn't snowboarding. Didn't need that functionality for that. However, I throw my headphones all over the place. I did that kind of crap all the time. So it was nice knowing that, oh, they can be thrown in my bag. I can do whatever. They're not going to get damaged. Well, I was super excited about my new headphones, right? And when you're super excited, you kind of want to show them off, right? And I was justifiably excited, and I told the people at the apartment at the time when I got there how excited I was for these new headphones. And I was like, yeah, they're called the Stretch. They can do anything and they won't break. I'm sure any sane human being who's listening would understand where the story is going to go. So I've had these headphones for like a day or two, right? They were expensive. Maybe not a day or two. I've had them for a couple weeks, actually, I think, at that point. But either way, they weren't cheap. They were not cheap headphones. I was a college student. That was a relatively big investment on my part, right? When you're younger and you don't, like, everything's an investment. But I feel like especially when you're younger and you've got like very little funds, I feel like those investments feel more meaningful because it was a bigger percentage of what you had to work with, right? And so anyway, we all know where this is going. I was super excited. I grabbed the headphones. I was like, yeah, you can do anything you want with them. Look, you can bend them, do this, do this, do this. Snap. The headphones just straight up ate shit. They completely broke apart and they snapped right at the point that I was bending it. And I think it was because it was a blizzard that day, and it wasn't just cold. It was like frozen cold outside. And so stupid me decides to show off these headphones as soon as I walk inside from a blizzard. So that means it was super duper duper cold outside and then pretty warm inside, which, we all know what happens there. And so everybody's face, though, you look at this. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. Pop. Everyone's face in that room did not know what to do. It was like the silence was so loud. Everybody's face, because there was like 4 or 5 people in that place at the time, I think. And everybody's face just went like shocked. And I'm a goofy guy, obviously, so they waited to see my expression, and then we all just started laughing. Like, I was pissed, don't get me wrong, that sucked. Like, it sucked real bad. But like, what a better way to do that than something like that, though? Come on, how unlucky is that? But how comical is it that as I'm showing someone how unbreakable a thing is, I immediately break it. I didn't like the headphones enough that I ordered a new pair as I got older again, I remember. And I had them in my gym bag for the longest time, and I used them as gym headphones. But as time goes on, they were wired headphones. And while I love wired headphones here at my desk, wired headphones at the gym, I feel like become more of a safety issue at this point. Like, obviously people have done it. I've done it my whole life growing up using wired headphones at the gym. But now if you can do it without the wires, that seems better. So, wireless headphones it is. And especially at our gym. Our gym has, I don't understand how many people are there. Unfortunately, our gym closed down, which is a whole other story to tell one day. But either way, it's a pretty jammed gym over here, the area. So, no matter which one you go to. Okay. So I know I'm past my time. It's okay though. Because I'm real close to at least getting the headpiece a little more squared away. Okay, that looks good. Right? This doesn't look good. Okay. So let's get rid of this. So this spike now has a weird, like I said, this was case in point where I said I was going to have to redo this anyway, right? I was correct. So there's no point in fine tuning this before because this is the part that I'm already erasing. So now I can go back though. Looks cleaned up. Now that spike. The shape of her head's getting kind of square up here. So just softening that angle a smidge. Okay, now she doesn't have hair. But it is there, I promise. See? What if we turn off the highlights and shadows we've already done, just so we get a better look of her silhouette now? Like I said, we did all of this so we can put this behind the spike layer. I'm so close. I'm so close. I gotta finish the hair, right? It's 1:05. Give myself like a couple minutes. Oh, so this is still in front of the dark gray anyway. So this doesn't really compete much because the spikes are. Let's break that bounds of that spike then. And then we'll go erase it. I don't like this curve. This is looking too much. So simplify the curve, right? There. Oh, that's better. Much better. Okay, so the hair doesn't need to be done. It just needs to look a little more finished than what we had a minute ago. So I don't like how the hair is in front of everything. So I've already decided the way I want stuff. So the hair, it already broke. I don't know. I don't know what to solve here. I think maybe I will do that thing I said I hate doing, but just because this is easier here. So what you do is you select, right? Now this is selected, but then if you invert it and go back to the layer, so basically we selected the gray, inverted the gray, so now we have everything but the gray selected. And now when we paint, this brush will not touch that because it said it's set to like, hey, this is masked. You cannot touch. So again, I guess that's really not the worst doing it that way. It took me like 3 seconds, but I just mentally I hate that it's different than Photoshop's. Like so drastically different. So if you just do the same thing really, and now it's like, oh, now I switch back to the hair layer, and when I paint, it's gonna be not conflicting with that that spot there on the scarf. Could I do it down here too? Yeah. That looks weird. So I played with that curve here. If you notice, I just erased it and tried it again, just because it didn't flow. So these other pieces all are busy, right? We've got a lot of pieces all connecting at this one junction point. We've got the spikes, we've got the shoulder pad, we've got her ear, we've got the wraps on her head, and then we have the hair in the background. And so you have to be conscious of all of these shapes as you're deciding other pieces. And so because of that, the original way I had her hair worked fine, but now that I've changed just that little bit of other parts, like the spikes and the shoulder pads, now you need to reassess and kind of tweak it. So what I did is I gave it a slight S curve here, so it comes in and then out to kind of balance better the where it intersects. So it's not pushing in on the spike, it's not pushing in on the shoulder. Everything kind of breathes a little better when you do it that way. I'm gonna actually, I think the scarf will just keep continuing back here, right? So we don't need any of this silver because the gray, because the scarf should go back there. I didn't paint it there, but it should be there. And now we can do the same thing real quick with the purple. Select it. That's not the purple. Oh, it is. Select, invert. Go back to the layer we want to actually paint, which is the hair. And now, voila, didn't come in contact with the shoulder. But no, this looks ugly. Did I painted this manually? Okay, I broke that. That was me. I was joking, just a joke. As you see, this is a lot easier. I should have been doing this earlier. It just makes the edge work cleaner and less hiccups on your own part, right? You can eliminate user error unless you need to focus on stupid details rather than just the creative choices, the better it is. Okay, so I think we can call it here enough at this point. I'm just going to fix this one spike because it's driving me crazy. And then we're going to zoom out and take a peek at how we're looking. Completely get rid of the lines. Okay. So it's looking clean, right? And it's only, you know, an hour past the time we were supposed to be streaming as usual. All right. Well, her shapes are there. Her image is overall there, and I think we can tweak this now. A little off stream, I'll finish the outlines, the silhouettes of the color, and then tomorrow we can clean up, add some shadows, pop some highlights, make this thing exist in 3D space a little better than it is now, and then we can call it done, right? So hopefully tomorrow we finish up this picture entirely and we can start fresh on Monday with something new. But keep in mind, I will be back on later now at 3, which cuts it close when I do all this. Actually, I wonder if I can cut it so I'll actually be on at like 3:30 today. Just a heads up for, you know, those of you all listening. I'll be on at 3:30 probably. I'll push it a little bit back today just to make sure I have time to get some other stuff done in between. But until then, be kind and kick butt. And thanks for stopping by. Hope you got a good afternoon ahead of you guys. Catch you later.